Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 2025-26 College Football Playoff Semifinal at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. Really excited about the matchup here between the Miami Hurricanes and the Ole Miss Rebels. First time these teams have met since 1951, so we're due for a great one. The last two college football playoff semifinals we've had here at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl have been instant classics, and we are excited that the one coming up in tomorrow evening will be another one. As we kick off this morning, as is tradition here, I'd like to welcome up the mayor from the city of Glendale, Jerry Wires. Please come to the stage.
Morning. 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 All right, gentlemen, I have fruit baskets from Shredda's Chocolates in Glendale, Arizona. You're going to find that if you have spouses, they love the chocolate, so guard them with everything. I would also like to congratulate both of you on coming to Glendale to play this game. One thing that I have the ability as mayor to do, most people don't know this, is to order weather. So I ordered rain for both of you to play in so you feel at home tomorrow. So with that, I wish you the best of luck. May the best team win. I'm sure whoever that is will. But it's a great chance to celebrate and for your players to actually get to do what they like to do, and that's play. So congratulations, welcome to Glendale.
Thank you very much.
Bet.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Before we get out to Glendale tomorrow, we're just going to spend a few minutes here with both of our head coaches from the respective teams. First, number 10 seed Miami Hurricanes come in with a 12-2 record, an impressive 24-14 win over Ohio State the other day. Impressive defensive effort. This is the fifth appearance for the Hurricanes at the Fiesta Bowl, first one in 23 years. Coach Mario Cristobal in his fourth season at Miami. He coached here in the Fiesta Bowl in 2021 with the Oregon Ducks. Coach, welcome, and why don't you take it away here?
Well, again, thank you for having us, and good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. Really, I'm very grateful for the opportunity and grateful to everyone associated with the Fiesta Bowl and welcoming us, and not only providing a great experience for our people, our fans, and our team, but also providing us with the resources and the amenities to continue to prepare so that we can play our best football. So again, very appreciative and looking forward to tomorrow.
Thank you, Coach. The man to his left is undefeated as a college football head coach.
There we go.
With a 2-0 record here in the college football playoff thus far. Pete Golding led the Rebels to an impressive 39-34 win over conference rival Georgia in the Sugar Bowl en route to get here to the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. Coach Golding, the mic is yours.
Obviously, Coach Cristobal wrote the script, so it's setting me up over here. But no, excited to be here. Excited the opportunity that our players created for themselves. Really good time at Ole Miss, playing against an unbelievable team with a lot of respect for Coach Cristobal and everything he's done throughout his career. Always has his teams ready to play, and a guy that I've admired for a long time. And they're playing at a really high level. So we know we got a big challenge. We appreciate the Fiesta Bowl committee. They've been very welcoming since we've been here, and we're excited for a really good opportunity versus a really good football team.
Fantastic. So now we're going to open up the floor for questions. We do have mic runners on either side, so if you please raise your hand, we'll call on you. We ask that you please identify yourself and your outlet before asking your question. Start on the far left over there, back row.
Yeah, Brooks Austin with the Film Guy Network. For both coaches, been a lot of talk about squeezing this playoff down. You guys just flipped around a 7- and 8-day turnaround, standard operations. Do you feel like you're ready, prepared, healthy, ready to go for this football game? Could you see yourself doing this potentially 4 times over, 7, days off in between each game?
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, it is what it is, and we could, I'm sure if we sat and analyzed it, we'd have a really lengthy dissertation and conversation, but I think the powers that be are doing everything possible to make it make sense and make it something that's feasible academically, from a football standpoint, from a health standpoint as well, right, as the year goes on and on. But I mean, if you get to this point in the season, regardless of the challenges that come with it, you have to be extremely grateful. And again, an opportunity to play one of the best football teams in the entire country. So press on.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think I agree with Coach Cristobal. I think this could be a big discussion. I think it probably will be in the offseason. But right now, we're playing under the same rules. So nobody's complaining about it. Everybody's got a retention component to their own roster. Everybody's got the portal that they're going to try to improve their roster. And I look at it as a benefit. A lot of guys right now are going to be sitting at home watching this game. You know, our guys have the ability to go out and play again, and that's what they want to do. So work's work, and we're very grateful for the opportunity to have another game and do what these kids love to do.
I'm going to go to the front right here. Coach.
Mike Cunio, CBS Miami. This is for both coaches. You both spent time under head coach Nick Saban. I was just wondering if you could share something you learned from him about not necessarily coaching, but program building.
Put me on the spot here. I've learned so much from Coach Saban, but you know, the number one thing for me from a program standpoint is I think he did an unbelievable job hiring unbelievable people. And would go and wasn't scared of where they came from, you know, and what emblem they were working for and what the route was to get there, that he wanted the best person for that job that created the most value for his players. And I think that's the first thing, you know, when I took over was I want to hire smarter people than me. I know that ain't real hard sometimes, but I want to get better people that are really good at what they do, that want to be there, that are there for the players. And I think he's the best I've ever been around as far as holding grown people accountable. Almost in fear, you know, and so I'm a little different from that standpoint, but, you know, there's an expectation there. I thought it was very black and white. There wasn't a lot of gray, you know. It said, hey, here's the expectation. Here's your job description. All right, you do your job and we'll be good, and I loved it that way. So, you know, from an organization standpoint, I think holding people accountable and hiring really good people was the thing for me.
Yeah, those are great points by Coach Golding. The value of the assistant coach being that they have to carry the message back to their room, to their position guys, to each side of the ball, and at the same time never let there be division from within. At the end of the day, it still has to be about team and selecting people that are on board with a philosophy and a vision that's going to be challenging because you have to push people and you have to make them uncomfortable. They have to understand first and foremost that every single day their job is to fight and battle human nature and a tendency to lean towards complacency and being comfortable. And I think that's something that Coach Saban did in a masterful way is every single day is make sure that that never set into the program.
We're up front here with AP.
Good morning, coaches. AP Stedham of AP as we see it. Coaches, what's the best words of wisdom you received about preparing for this type of event in game with all the noise and things that are happening?
Well, the best way to say it, and I say this completely with all due respect, it's not really a bowl game, it's a playoff game, right? Start the season with 100-plus teams, and now there's 4. Everybody's banged up. Everybody's hurting. Numbers are down. People have exited. So that's the approach, you know, making sure that we understand that you're here for a purpose and your intent and what you've done throughout the entire season leads you to this. You approach it with gratitude and full throttle.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody since a child dreams of having the opportunity to compete for a national championship. And I think going into seasons, people all want to think, hey, we got a realistic shot at it. And I think normally there's probably about 20 teams that realistically have a real shot at it. But, you know, to look one game in the face and be like, all right, I've got 1 week. Yes, I'm tired, just like Coach said. Yes, I'm beat up. All right, yes, other people are on vacation. But I've got 1 week to where if I can do everything I possibly can do to leave out the my bads and the wish I would have for 1 week to have the opportunity to compete for a championship, who wouldn't do that? And I've said this from the very beginning. Coach Cristobal and both had the opportunity to be on a lot of playoff teams. You know, I think it's the team that wants to continue to play, all right? But they know with their preparation throughout the week is going to show whether they really want to play. Everybody wants to win the game, right? But are you willing to continue to do the things necessary to win the game? And that's always the challenge. But I think it goes back to your group. I think we got a group of great guys that love playing football. And hopefully we continue to prepare, which we are today, and got practice because we play a really good football team.
We're going to go in the center aisle, third row, David Hale.
Hey, Mario, you were pretty vocal from the minute you took this job that the biggest reason that you came back to Miami was just this sort of internal desire to see Miami back at a level that you had grown up knowing it at. As you've gone through this experience and had the playoff success and kind of gotten Miami into the national conversation the way that it used to be, has this felt similar, different to some of those experiences you had as a fan, as a player, as an assistant coach?
I mean, those were unique times. I firmly believe that those times, that era cannot be duplicated, right? It just was a different college football landscape. But it was awesome, and I was a nobody on an unbelievable team with insanely good Hall of Fame teammates. But the experience itself was an absolute game changer for myself and my mentality. It shaped my DNA, everything that I believe in. My entire belief system was shaped and molded by what I learned during that time. And so it's been a 20-plus year journey to return and not take Miami back, but move Miami forward. But we've progressed a bunch, and we still have a ways to go. We've earned our way here, and we still have to earn, every single play that the opportunity we have tomorrow night. So I don't know how to answer that question. Not yet. I don't think those things are really assessed, analyzed, and commented on until the season's over. But are we excited and enthused about the progress? Absolutely. And do we have a ways to go? We're not even close to where we need to be, but we're certainly excited to move forward and keep pressing on.
Go on our far right over here, second row.
Mackenzie Eason, University of Miami TV. Coach Cristobal, how are you preparing your D-line to attack Ole Miss's offense, specifically Trinidad Chambliss?
Well, again, Coach Golding and his staff have put together arguably the most dangerous team in the country, and they haven't been stopped. They haven't been slowed down, right? And football is an all-11 game, right? Settled by the 22 guys on the field, 11 on 11. And when you play great teams that not only are, from a talent standpoint, are an elite level, they have elite level schemes. They have great coaches, guys that really know how to game plan you, find your weaknesses and attack them. You have to be at your very best. Your communication, your ability to line up, to diagnose, react, and play fast are at a premium. So you have to prepare at your very best.
Let's go with second row on the left-hand side.
Jake Thompson, Ole Miss Spirit on 3. Pete, you mentioned it earlier, talking about having to do player retention and the transfer portal. You've had a very good start to both, especially retention the past few days. Just what does it speak to the momentum that this program has still been able to carry moving into next season?
I think it speaks to the whole community. I think it speaks to the administration. I think it speaks to the collective. I think it's been very obvious to me, even when I wasn't at Ole Miss yet, the direction that they wanted to go and what they were going to invest into it to get it there. And then I think when you hire good people and you recruit really good players, and there's vertical alignment from your chancellor to your athletic director to your coach, I think it's just a matter of time. And I think in the recruitment of it, I think that's been the biggest thing of recruiting the right type of people. I think the tape evaluation is pretty easy. We can look at the tape and know he's a really good player, but is he tough, competitive, and does he love football? Does he have a high football IQ? Because, this window is really small to recruit players. It used to be coaches recruiting for 2-3 years, right? And you get to know everything about them. And, it's the girl at your high school. And now it's 1 weekend recruitment. All right, you never even talk to them. They show up on your campus, and it's like a free agency deal. So, doing that homework and make sure they're the right type of guys that want to be there, right? That are tough, competitive, and all that. But I'm just really excited for our school, for our community. We've done it in other sports, and to have the front porch doing it and creating that opportunity for the school has been awesome. But just more excited for our players. They put a lot into this, a lot of hard work. It's a team that we thought last year, we kind of screwed that up for them, creating this opportunity. So there's a little bit of the chip on the shoulder, and just really happy for those seniors and those returns that came back and invested so much to create this opportunity for this team.
We'll go Michelle, front row.
Michelle Gardner, Arizona Republic. This is for Coach Cristobal. We talked to Keontae earlier, and he talked about sleeping in the facility, and obviously other guys kind of followed him. Can you kind of talk about his leadership and what that says about him as a young man, that he was able to take those two guys under his wing and kind of mentor them?
Well, I can't speak enough good things about Keontae from the day he set foot on campus, and really his visit, his transparency, the way he articulated where he was at, why he chose Miami. And mind you, he was a guy that I recruited when I was at the University of Oregon. So we knew each other for a long, long time, him, mom, everybody. But he has a very unique way about him. He's all about action. He's a man of action, backs up his words, but the time invested not only in his craft, but the time he invests in people and getting to know them, gaining their trust, being a guy that on a daily basis is going to approach everything like a true professional. It garners respect, right? And certainly a commanding presence about him. So, and he backs it up on the field. And he's a guy that, I love the guy. I honestly think he's been one of the biggest difference makers I've ever been around in coaching, and certainly happy for his success so far. He's really excited to play tomorrow.
Go to Heather Dinich in the back on the right-hand side.
Heather Dinich with ESPN. Pete, how have you managed to navigate through the chaos? Joe Judge said yesterday it's the most chaotic 4 days or so of his entire coaching career, while you also learn how to be a head coach.
Yeah, I mean, I think every year is pretty chaotic. Everything creates, depending upon the time of the year and what's going on and all those type of things. I think, different in coaching and playing. I mean, you find a way. You're not looking for excuses, and you're not thinking about everything else. You're looking for solutions. And, the coaching piece of this has been a big part of who's there, who's not there. Like, I come to Division II and 1AA. We got 6 coaches in Division II. You're the strength conditioning coach. You're the academic coordinator. You got a coach. I mean, I walk in the academic staff the offensive room this morning, and there's 9 guys that have been here all year in there, and there's 4 more added to it. There's 13 guys in the offensive staff room that 9 of them have been here all year. I mean, I think we got enough guys to be able to coach and know the system and do it the right way. So mine has just been trying to keep it as routine as possible. And that's been the whole thing the entire time. This is still the 2025 season, all right? And everybody done a lot of really good things to put ourselves in a position to be able to do this. And I wasn't trying to change everything. This is about finishing out the 2025 season the right way with whatever we have to do that. And I know at this point, this isn't week 4, right? The culture's already been in place. The systems have been in place. I mean, the technique and all that's already there. Right? It's about the preparation at this point and getting your guys ready to go play. And our guys love playing football. And so I haven't looked at anything outside. We got a really good group of guys and men in that building that want to be there, that want to provide a really good environment for our players, and our players want to win. And so I haven't got caught up in all the other stuff. It's just whatever the moment is. If it's a game preparation, let's get ready to play the game. If we're recruiting, let's recruit, and let's try to recruit better than everybody else. And I think Oxford has speak for itself. Ole Miss has speak for itself. I think a lot of things right now in college football and recruiting, a lot of people recruit based on tradition, right? We recruit based on trajectory, right? A lot of these places, they can go show them Heisman trophies. They can go show them national championships. Nobody in that damn building won them, all right? So, again, it's where's it at right now? What's the direction that it's headed? And so our guys see that. I think the recruits see that as well. So,
Thanks, Coach. We'll go with Brandon Marcello on the left.
Both coaches, it's a weird, wild time when you have a transfer portal open while you're trying to prepare to compete for a national championship. Did you guys have any concerns about, say, outgoing players from your program, maybe rival programs or in the semifinals or elsewhere, reaching out to them, trying to get even intel on your own programs as you try to win a national championship?
Well, I think it happens all the time. And if we don't think it is happening, then we're kidding ourselves. But quite honestly, I don't blame the players. I blame the adults. We created the system, right? We're supposed to be setting the example, right? We're supposed to be setting the standard as it relates to everything. So when you create a system that has as many holes as it does, well then, shame on you if you're surprised by some of the results that come with it. So, but again, these circumstances aren't unique to just one program. We all are faced with it. And, credit to Coach Golding to take over a program in this landscape. And I don't think, again, I followed him for a long, long time. We've known each other a little bit, but followed him, and tremendous respect and admiration for what his work has been over the years, and knew he was going to be a head coach. But to be able to navigate all this during this time and still have the type of success that he is having, I think it's, man, it's off the charts. It's awesome. So we're all responsible to handle it and navigate and manage it as best we can.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Appreciate that, Coach. You don't have to say that. And I think it happens all year long. I mean, I read an article during the season. There was a high school in Texas, right? And they broke into their huddle account and they're watching their practice. I mean, it's competition, right? People trying to win, right? Doesn't matter if you're playing tennis or whatever. I mean, they're trying to win. So a lot of people will do anything that it takes to win in their mind, regardless morally what it is. So we always had to deal with that. You know, I think the player and the coach component's exactly the same. If you're a really good player and you're a really good coach, people want you. And they're either going to reach out to you or your representation whenever they have the need and try to get that thing ready. So I think that's been something that's going on for a while. But I think it goes back to the focus of the players and the coaches on the task at hand. And I think a lot of guys can take calls and do all those things. And that's been my message to the players the whole time. So, look, guys, 2026, right? Let's figure out 2026, all right, whenever the last game is. And everybody's got a responsibility for themselves and their family. Are they in the correct position, all right? Or is there another place and they can go and increase their value that's better for them? That's everybody in every profession. But right now, you've created a unique opportunity for yourself and the legacy of this team. And so I think the big thing is departmentalizing things. You know, in today's, so when we're in the building, it's ball, right? We're going to give you some time off. If that's going to talk to your agent, go talk to your agent. It happens at every level. And so I think the focus in our building when we've been preparing and practicing has been on the right thing. I think all the other things that we can't control, we don't concern ourselves with. We're open to be able to talk to it if the players want to, but I think everybody's dealing with it like Coach said. So I think it is what it is right now, but I do agree we created and it's created by adults.
Go far right, first row.
Morning, coaches. Josh Moser from Fox and ABC in Miami. Coach Cristobal was talking to the players yesterday. They love your pregame messages. What will that message be tomorrow?
I mean, we kind of keep that in-house. So, I mean, it's very real. It relates to us. But, you know, in a world where, and no offense to media, you guys do a great job and you have a job to do. But in a world where the media is so intrusive, you know, there's certain things that you'd like to keep private and really confidential within your team, and we'd like to do that, you know, with all due respect.
In crafting that message?
It's consistent and it builds and we work at it. You know, it's something that we believe in and, you know, we go at it. And thank you. Yes, sir. I understand. Thank you.
Coach Adelson. Coach Adelson from ESPN in the back row.
Coach.
Andrea Adelson with ESPN. Pete, I know you're tired of answering the question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Of course you are.
Since you mentioned looking at your staff meeting earlier, now that we're here, can you say which of the staff members who went to LSU will be with you tomorrow at the game?
Yeah, so obviously John Garrison, we have our offensive line coach that we've had all year, right? We have our running back coach, Kevin Smith, that we've had all year. We have our offensive coordinator who calls the plays, right, here, and he's been here all year. Joe Cox is not here, and George McDonald is not here, right, receivers and tight ends. And that's been something that's coming the whole time, right? There's been constant communication. They have another job that is paying them, and they have a responsibility. And at this time, the way the calendar is now, and I wasn't going to get into this, they have 35 guys that are in the portal. They have to build a team. So obviously, do they want to be here? You're damn right they do, right? But again, I mean, the situation that it is, right, they've got a job to do, and they've got to build a team where they're at. And where their window is right now, we've made it when it's in the semifinals of the national championship. But we could take a 2-week break in the season with a bye week and play a 1AA team with no portal open. And not have to worry about retention of your players. But you get off of a plane at 3 a.m. and you got 6 days to play one of the best teams in the country, right? And you're trying to retain your own roster from going in the portal. Then you got to do visits because you got from the 2nd, from the 5th, because you got to be out here at the 5th, right, to get official visit in, right, of portal guys. Okay, on top of guys have taken other jobs at other places that have to build the portal. So to answer your question, yes, we've got plenty of people.
Chris Lowe.
Hey, Chris Lowe with On3. Mario, Pete, if you both could weigh in on this. One of these teams is going to win their first national title in almost 25 years since the Canes last won in 01, and in some cases, maybe the first ever. What do you think that says about the changing landscape in your sport? And do you expect to see this continue to be more the norm and not necessarily exception?
You want it?
Sure. I think it's important to address the fact that tomorrow the University of Miami and Ole Miss plays each other. The national championship is several days down the line, so I think all focus should be placed on tomorrow's game.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, we take one at a time. But to answer your question, I think every year is going to be dependent upon the staff that is put together and the players that you recruit. Are you able to hold them accountable? Are you able to stay healthy? There's so many components, right, to any sports on being successful. But stockpiling players of what you're talking about, right, I think there's they want to play. I don't care how much they play. If they don't win, it's no fun either. Right, so I think places now are about the opportunity to come in and compete while still having the ability to compete for a championship. And I don't think that's a lot of places. And I think Coach Cristobal has created that. I think there's about a dozen places around the country that have created that. But that's going to be new every year based on the job that people do and how hard they want to work. And I think that's another thing to me on this calendar. I think, somebody was talking about the other day, all 4 guys left that worked from Coach Saban at some point. Is that right? All right, well, if you're going to work for Coach Saban, you're going to work your ass off. Right, and I know right now, the way the calendar's set up right now, you better be ready to work. And I think that's a testament to those people, but also those programs and the players within it. But right now, I think it's really the teams that are willing to outwork everybody else and willing to do the things necessary, and obviously have the budget to do it.
We have time for a few more. We're going to go second row.
Connor Emery with CAF Sports. Coach Golden, this question is for you. November 30th, everything changed for you and your team when Lane Kiffin decided to leave for LSU. And a lot of people didn't think you would be here right now at the national semifinal in the Fiesta Bowl. So what is your message to Lane Kiffin to all those who maybe have given up or lost hope, and you keep proving them wrong as you're here right now in Phoenix?
Yeah, I don't have a message for anybody else. I think our team had a message. They had a message about how they prepared and how they play, and that they weren't tired of playing. And I do think the message is, I'm replaceable, you're replaceable, our players are replaceable, right? I think you want to build a program to where it's heading in the right direction, and one person, one player, or anything like that's not going to derail that. There's been too much invested in that, and it's been aligned correctly that one person is not going to impact something so drastically. If it is, it's probably not built right. Right? If one coach in any sport can determine the outcome of it, he probably doesn't have a very good staff, right? I mean, if one player can determine the outcome of it, we probably didn't recruit and create the right depth, right? Or we didn't prepare him and be ready for his opportunity. And it's a team game. I mean, there's so many people that go into it. So the timing of when it happened, in my opinion, couldn't happen at a better time for the players because everything was already in place. Right? Everything was on the track. It's headed the right direction. We got really good players. Right? There was already a culture created. They knew the expectation. The only thing that was different is who's running them out of the tunnel. And to be honest with you, I don't think the players give a damn who runs them out of the tunnel. Right? Does it make sense? They care about their plan. They care about getting held accountable, right? And how they're going to prepare. And they care about people that care about them. Right? And I think that's been the message our players have created. But I don't have shit to say to anybody else.
Third row. Brown jacket.
This question's for Mario. This is Jake Garcia with 12 News in Phoenix. You mentioned how transformative of a time it was playing at Miami when you did. How did Coach Erickson's coaching philosophy influence yours today?
Coach E is awesome. He actually was in town probably a little over a month ago. I mean, imagine, Coach Jimmy Johnson leaves for the Dallas Cowboys, and you have, I remember that day vividly, entire room just waiting, like, who the heck's going to walk in here, who's going to be our coach. And actually, Pinky, his dad walked in first, and we're like, wait a second, that's our new coach? And then Coach E walked in after that. And I think what Coach Erickson recognized right away is that he was walking into a place that had a tradition and a standard that was going to be upheld no matter what, but that he could also bring some schematic advantages that was going to make Miami even better. And right away, he got along with everybody. He had a way about him where he galvanized us at a time where, you know how it is, man. It's when you lose a coach, when you lose a head coach, you either come together or you get torn apart. And I think he did an unbelievable job, a lot like Coach has done right now, to bring everybody together. And he was demanding, and he was fun, and he let us cut it loose on game day. So forever grateful to him, my brother and I. I mean, he changed our lives forever. We're two local Cuban kids, two nobodies, who really, by the grace of God, and two really, really hard-working Cuban parents that didn't know much English, right? They gave us a chance, gave us an opportunity, and that's why every day that I have an opportunity to work at the University of Miami, I am grateful beyond words. So God bless Coach E.
We're going to finish out. Last question, front row here.
Adam Lichtenstein, South Florida Sun Sentinel. Mario, Carson talked yesterday about identity drives and like those run-heavy drives you guys have gone on several times throughout the year. Just how important are those long run-heavy drives where you're able to control the game? How important are they to control the game and also kind of boost the team's morale?
I think that just moving the sticks, getting first downs, and eventually scoring, whether it's a long drive or whether it's a short one, it always builds confidence, right? It makes you believe that the plays being called, the guys executing them can actually make it happen at a high level. But again, all the teams here, these final teams are all excellent football teams, high-level personnel, high-level schemes. So we feel like we're getting better. We feel that watching film last week, there's a lot of areas that we have to improve upon. We play against a team that's the best team that we have played against thus far this season, and we're going to have to be better. We're going to have to be better to be able to get first downs, to make yards, to score points. So this is, again, a tremendous challenge, and we're excited for the opportunity.
I'd like to thank the two coaches up here and thank all the media who have been here this morning to attend. Thank you for your time. We're going to head over to the podium and take a quick photo by the trophy.